Hey. This is Gary Smoot. Welcome to Smoot Talk, truth without restraint, where the party never stops. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope y'all having a great morning, a great evening, a great night. However I find you, I just hope you're doing well. And I really haven't had an opportunity to really formally introduce myself. So let me take time out and do that now. You know, my name is Gary Smoot. I started this podcast so that I could focus on primarily on men, but really anybody going through any type of relationship problems. You may be going through a divorce. You may be feeling like you're headed towards a divorce. I'm divorced. I've been divorced now 2 years. It was finalized February 15th, 2022. And that divorce was a long road. And leading up to that divorce was a very, very long road. I have 3 children, 2 teenagers, and 1 9-year-old. My teenagers are both boys, and my 9-year-old is a beautiful little girl. And I get visitation rights. I see them. They live here with me every other weekend, and I moved to where I am right now so they could catch the bus where I live at. But there was a time where they didn't live with me. Throughout the divorce, they didn't. I just saw them every other weekend, and then I could see them for 2 hours twice a week. So, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. So I was married 14 years. Things was getting a little bit too crazy, and I decided to file for divorce and push back and say, hey, this isn't working out. It's better that we, split our ways. The divorce got very, very messy, very, very crazy. And for anybody that's ever went through a divorce, you never know. You never see the true side of a person until you go through a divorce. All the lies, all the deceit, I said, damn, we lying under oath now? I got railroaded. But we'll talk about that later on in some other episodes. All I'm saying is, if you've been through a divorce, or you're going through a divorce, or you feel like you're headed to a divorce, I've been there. Okay? And like I said, I'm primarily, doing this podcast, talking about some things that I wish I would have known before I got married. And if I can save or help anybody, man or woman, transgender, LGBT, I don't care what you are. If I can help anybody to not go through what I went through, almost lost my man. If anybody that's went through a divorce or currently going through one, they can man, it's on par for me when I went to war, when I went to Iraq back in 04 and 05, when I deployed to Baghdad with the 1st Cavalry Division when I was in the Army. It's on par. My divorce is on par with that. And we'll talk about that down the road. But it was, I almost lost. In the divorce, I lost everything anyway. So that's what I'm trying to do this podcast. If I can teach anybody, especially any young man or any man, some things. Anyways. But it's 2 things I want to talk about. Yesterday I was talking about trash spouse, trash life. But I want to talk about today some of the red flags you should look out for. And there's 2 red flags I'm going to talk about today because I like to keep these videos short, The first one I want to talk about today is the first red flag that I noticed when I was dating. I noticed it. Didn't stop it. No, I didn't stop it. But I noticed it. And I thought it would change. But it was the control. Number 1, the control. So controlling tendencies are seeking to control your actions, your decisions, and your social interactions. And I remember in the beginning where I would be planning to go out somewhere with my friends, and I would let her know, hey, I'm going out with my friends. Then all of a sudden or whatever, she would come up with some crazy excuse. Oh, I'm about to die. Oh, I'm about to get a leg amputated. Oh, I'm about to try to get me to stop going out with my friends. And then I would fall for it like a dummy, stay with her. But then it was time for her to go out. Oh, everything's great. Legs back miraculously healed. Everything's cool. She's healthy. She's out partying. So I started to see a consistent pattern. When it was time for me to go out, it was a problem. When it's time for her to go out, because I'm not that type of guy. I'm not a controlling guy. And we all in life have insecurities, but control is not one of mine. And so I didn't have no problem with her going out. But I started to see later on, and when we finally got married, and later on, this avalanche just started growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I remember when I would just be at home playing my game, just wanting some peace, especially later on, way further on later on in the marriage, about 13th year. I was only married 14 years, and I pulled the trigger. But the 13th year, and it got to where she would bust in the door. I come home from work. The only peace I had was plugging up my PlayStation. I'm playing Call of Duty World War II. I'm going crazy, cussing out 9-year-olds on there just to get this anger out. I was so mad. You feel me? She come in there, bust the door down. What are you doing? Didn't I tell you to turn the TV off? Turn the TV off and would rip the cord out the back of the PS4. I'm like, what is you doing? What are you doing? This is the only piece. You're not my piece anymore. You probably never was my piece. But this is the only piece I got. It's cussing out teenagers on Call of Duty World War II. What are you doing? And just argue, do stuff. Took my stuff, would throw it out the window, threw my clothes out the window, threw my PS4 and my Xbox 360 out the window. Just wanted to argue. Man, people who, show a lack of respect for your possessions, individuals who show very, very intense jealous of everybody, jealous of me talking to my mama, jealous of me talking to my sister, jealous of me talking to a coworker. Now, there are work wives and work husbands, so I can definitely kind of understand that. But just jealous of everybody. You want me all to yourself. It's a problem. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. So number one, controlling tendencies. And then also lack of respect. And so the lack of respect, being with somebody who consistently disregards your feelings, opinions, and your individuality. And that's a good one. I remember my ex-wife, it was one time I came home and I love reading. I had a lot of books, had 3 bookshelves, had a bunch of books. Now I went to culinary school and I went to Bible college and seminary. And so I love reading books on cooking and books on religion and history. And came home one day and it was her and another woman and they were throwing all my books away. I said, hey man, what are you doing? Oh, we just got to clean some stuff up in here. I can't take it no more. What are you talking about? The books are nicely on the bookshelf in alphabetical order. They're not bothering anybody. I can see if I consistently have books all over the floor. Like, what are you doing? Started throwing books away. I had to cause a scene. I had to call, what are you doing? Then I went to work the next day. I found out she had threw some of the books away. Why? Because I'm living with somebody who doesn't respect. I was living with somebody who did not respect me. And she was showing me. If you're living with somebody, or if you're in a relationship with somebody who's showing you that they don't respect you, don't stay in that situation, man. You're better than that. You're better than that. I'm better than that. That's why I got out of that situation. You're better than that. You don't have to stay with somebody that's number one, controlling, and you don't have to stay with somebody number two that's showing you lack of respect for who you are and your individuality. You're better than that. Okay? It all goes back to if you keep staying with somebody who's showing just these two, it goes back to you. How do you feel about yourself? It really goes back to how do you feel about yourself? You're better than that. And when you know better, you do better. Man, I appreciate y'all watching Smooth Talk, Truth Without Restraint. Understand that this party is never going to stop, okay? You're better than that, man. You're better than that. Y'all be safe. I appreciate y'all watching, okay? Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.